It is not your fault that you throw all of your healthy eating aspirations out the window before you even leave the tarmac from the airport. It is so wildly common for people, specifically food addicts and sugar addicts, to totally lose their when it's time for air travel. It is probably one of the most challenging circumstances or triggers we see our people deal with.
How are you going to make it through the Wild West of the airport?
The Hudson News, the Bugles, and the M&Ms, they're so big. So it's not your fault because there's a behavioral science phenomena. It's called the what the hell effect. And we're going to get into what the hell that even means and exactly what you can do about it, because you can travel on an airplane and take off and land and eat normally, even if you are a compulsive overeater, a food addict, a sugar addict, an emotional eater, doesn't matter what it is. This is possible. You just need to understand what the hell's going on here. So we're going to break that down. We're going to give you some replacement options so you can travel and enjoy yourself. Just to get to know each other a little bit, because you're probably wondering who in the hell do we think we are to be talking to you about this very secret little melodrama you have every time you travel. My name is Laura. I am a clinical nutritionist. This is my sister. Her name is Hannah, and she is a sociologist, which means something very different than what you probably think it means. Hannah, tell them what sociologist is.
Basically, it's looking at human interactions with each other. So it's psychology is the individual, sociology is the group level. And I particularly really like looking at food. So identity with food, how we interact with food, how it affects our interactions with other people.
We've learned recently, a lot of people think sociologist is social worker, and they're just different. So that's where Hannah's expertise lies. And another important piece here, we just want to let you know from out the gate, is we are both gratefully recovered food addicts and binge eaters. So we get it. We've been there. I think I easily went the first 27 years of my life not being able to do airplane travel without binge eating, bloating. And you know that plane bloat you get where like, you know, you need to stand up and move?
Oh, girl.
Well, it's a special kind of hell. You're not the only one on that plane with airplane bloat.
So that secret little habit you have of setting up a tripwire for yourself, where you arrive to the airport and first you go to Hudson News and getting that candy bar that you usually don't really buy and maybe a bag of chips. And then you're going to walk down and you're going to see somebody drinking a margarita at 10 o'clock in the morning because it's the airport. And you're going to be like, well, if they're doing it, I'm going to do it. So then you go and sit down and maybe you're having some nachos at 10 in the morning with a margarita and you've got your little stash in the bag. And the next thing you know, you're going to go across because now you want something sweet.
Yeah. And then you get on the airplane and you're like, well, I already did all that. So I might as well order the shitty hoagie that cost me $17 on this 4-hour flight. What the hell? Right. And then you land and you feel like shit and you're like, well, what the hell? My day's already lost. So let me grab this Tropicana smoothie on my way out of the airport.
Yeah. You know, before I go and have dinner, where I'm definitely going to go for like a really nice dinner.
Yeah.
All of these actions in and of themselves, fine. If you want to go have nachos and a margarita at 10 o'clock in the morning at the airport, girl, do it. Have a great time. Problem here is how you're feeling. It's that feeling of like, I cannot stop myself. I know I'm doing something I shouldn't do and I don't really want to do on some level, but I'm just going to keep giving into it. And that's the issue that we're talking about here today. That is what is called in the scientific community, the what the hell effect. And I'm serious. That is literally what it is called. This is a population level phenomena, specifically for compulsive eaters, for food addicts. We see this come up so often, and travel is such a trigger. You are out of your normal routine. You're out of your normal environment. You're seeing other people indulge a little bit. You're letting yourself indulge a little bit. And it's so easy to just step right over that line and go, oh, what the hell? I've already lost the day. So I'm just going to throw in the towel and just go hog wild. Then what ends up happening? We feel guilty. We try to restrict ourselves. It doesn't work because that's not the answer. We find ourselves right back at step one, going around and around in a circle. Stick around till the end, because then we're going to get into some ideas of how to actually get out of that cycle and really get in control so you can actually enjoy yourself on your vacation at the airport.
The two researchers who coined the term, the what the hell effect, it was Janet Polivy and C. Peter Herman, and they were specifically studying food behaviors. This is braided. It is inseparable from dieting. That's why you feel this way. That's why this is so rampant. That's why this is not your fault. This is not a weakness of willpower. This is not like I just have too bad of cravings. We are constantly told dieting is the solution to get control of our eating. And yet what we have known since the 80s and 90s is that the very setup of a diet, which is restriction, here's your bad foods, stay away from these, the mechanics from the beginning set you up for the what the hell effect. And the what the hell effect is losing control and overeating. And it's something you can start hacking away at and getting away from right now. Like on your next trip. Are you traveling soon? Because it's summertime as we're recording this. If you are traveling through air, like the airways, if you are traveling this way, you can start chipping away at this now and be ready for that.
Dieting is very black and white thinking. It's extremely dichotomous, and it's also very specific. So you're saying, I'm only going to have 1,000 calories a day. I'm only going to have this number of carbs. When they do studies on this, when people go over that by just a little bit, they have just 100 more calories in the day, just a few more carbs. That's enough to trigger the what the hell effect, because diet thinking is so black and white. Oh, I've gone 100 calories over. What the hell? Right? I mean, This is where the idea of cheat days come from. They're giving you this dichotomous thinking that indulging inherently will be to the extreme, unhealthy, and somehow does not fit in with a healthy diet. In the what the hell effect, the idea is you have a long-term goal, and then you have these really small sub-goals that get that to you. So let's put this in diet context. You have this long-term diet goal. I want to lose whatever many pounds. I want to lose this many inches. I want to eat keto. And then you have your sub-goals, which is each day, I'm going to have this many calories. Each day, I'm going to have this many carbs, whatever that very specific number is. And that's supposed to get you to the big one. So when you mess up your sub goal, you eat too much in the day, you eat the wrong kind of food in the day, you eat something that's not keto, let's say, that's going to trigger the what the hell effect. So you're like, well, yesterday I messed up. So now you've kind of already started like the longer term, what the hell effects. So you're like, oh, so this morning it doesn't really matter, right? Diet starts Monday kind of mentality. It's so baked into just how diets are structured and created. They're so specific and limiting that there's no wiggle room. Diets aren't teaching you how to handle those triggers. They're just telling you don't touch them.
Yeah. It's such a win-lose. Did you win today or did you lose today? Did you win today or did you lose today? There is no like, I learned something today. I did a little bit better today. I did a little bit worse, but by like 3 degrees. Mm-hmm. So what, right? Like 3 degrees is not actually a loss, but there's no room for that in diet structure. So this is not just you are this weirdo who can't get control of their eating at an airport or when they fly. That's not what's happening here. If you talk to almost anyone, they're like, oh no, don't get those away from me. Once I start, I can't stop. Or I was so bad yesterday. Or, oh, well, I already screwed up on Friday. So the whole weekend, I might as well do what I want. This is just part of our vernacular. This is just how we see our relationship to food in the world. And Sugar Sober is here to say that is completely unnecessary. It is the fuel to continue the problem eating. There is a solution to it. Let's talk about what that can look like. How can we not participate in the what the hell effect?
I'm not a big Oprah fan, but I remember this one story she told once where she was going to Paris and she was really excited about the croissants and she didn't allow herself to have them. And then the last day she did, and she just like could not stop eating them. She had, I don't know how many in one day. I think she was the one, maybe it was some person she was interviewing that was kind of saying, if you would just let yourself have one small one every single day, you would have actually enjoyed it a lot more. And you wouldn't have set yourself up for this binge on the last day that just puts such a sour taste on the whole trip. Mm-hmm. So instead, before you're going on your vacation, before you're traveling and find yourself face to face with Panda Express in the airport food court, start building in little bits of that before you're leaving. Have a little bit of that orange chicken, have a little bit of the cashew chicken, whatever it is that you really like, so that when you're face to face with it, it's not like, oh, I never get this. Now I finally get to have it.
What you're doing there is you're decharging it. It has such an electric charge. You're giving it so much power, and you remove that power when you're not pedestalizing it. I mean, like, it's going to be the one thing and I'm going to do it because you've pedestalized it and you've given it this charge because you are still mentally categorizing it as a no-no food, as a bad food. So even when you're like, well, I'm going to participate, I'm going to really indulge, but I better enjoy it now because this is really not allowed. That's the fuel. That is always what is fueling the what the hell effect. So if we decharge that by being like, I'm going to get an order, like Hannah said, I'm going to get an order of this from Panda Express and I'm going to eat off of it a little bit each day for the whole week. It is now not something you have to feel bad about because it's something you know how to control yourself with. Another really simple behavior trick you can use before you're traveling, particularly flying, is go ahead and pre-decide what is your treat going to be. Do not get there and be like, oh, I hope I don't get it. I hope I don't do it. I hope I don't overdo it. Oh, I hope I don't lose control. There's no support railing to grab onto there. It's kind of like, I picture it like you're in a sea storm and you're like, just gonna ride this bitch out. Give yourself some railing to hold on to. Be like, I'm going to have blank. Like if you're a sweet person, a safe, it doesn't matter what it is. Go ahead and pre-decide it so that you're not trying to figure it out when you're in the roughest water.
Mm-hmm.
Since you pre-decided what you were going to participate with, and then when you do participate with it, it's not fuel for the, well, I already screwed up. You didn't screw up. You decided to do this. You owned this decision. There's no screw up here. We really take away the fuel that pushes us to the next phase of the what the hell it effect, which is, well, I might as well eat it all now. Why would you eat it? You already decided you were going to do this. You haven't done anything off plan.
There are so many different ways you can go about navigating when you're stepping into the airport. If you want to really get into this more, drop any kind of emoji in the comment box and we will get back to you. You can find us on social media. You can go to our website and send us a message there. Email us, hello@sugarsober.com. We respond to every message. We pay attention to our inbox. We won't just ghost you. Tell us, what is it that's tripping you up when you're thinking about this upcoming travel that you have? What is it that's really, making your palms sweaty? And let's work through it. Let's figure out a solution.
Yeah, and let's get excited about the trip. Go ahead, DM us. Tell us where you're going. Tell us why you're traveling. Tell us all about it. We'd love to hear about it. If you just need to tap into somebody else's source of faith that you can do this, use us. That's what we're here for, because we know that you can, because we've made an entire career out of studying how to get control of your eating. So reach out.
I walked into the sentence the wrong way. How do I get out of here?